So here's a question for you that a lot of people have asked me over the last, 5 years now. What do disability policies typically cover? Are there things they don't cover that are excluded? What do I need to worry about if I'm a young dentist to keep me safe?
Excellent question. So most individual high quality disability insurance covers companies will cover about anything you can think of that may take you out of work due to any physical, mental, emotional disorder. Now, there are a few caveats that I'll touch on in just a moment, but if you get a very robust and comprehensive contract, it could be any type of physical injury, it could be sickness, illness, disease, cancer, whatever it may be. If you can't perform the material and substantial duties of your own occupation as a dentist, as long as you have that own occupation contract we talked about, you are very likely going to qualify to go on benefits, even if you can work in another capacity, if you can't do that. Now, there are a few items that a lot of policies exclude, one of which I really want my clients and all of you to be aware of is called the mental nervous exclusion. This is a big deal. A lot of carriers, in fact, the majority of carriers out there will pay full benefits all the way to 65, 67, or 70, but they have fine print inside their contract that says, if it's deemed to be due to stress, mental, nervous, anxiety, depression, or some type of disorder like that, they may only pay you for up to 24 months or 2 years, which is a big point.
That is a huge point. Okay, so this is going to be especially relevant, this next question, to our dental students, because I'm a begin with the end in mind guy, and I don't want to roll out of dental school if I'm you without knowing I'm protected already. A lot of people talk about protecting yourself as a student and then being able to increase with time. Can you do that?
Absolutely. So typically you can actually get more potential coverage as a student than you can a practicing dentist. And the reason being, if you obtain this coverage while you're a student, you do not have to provide any financial verification. There are special limits from many of the top carriers that provide you, if you're a student, you can get this amount. And if you can get this amount, assuming you medically qualify, you can actually layer an option on that contract called future increase options or guaranteed purchase options, which allows you to buy another amazing amount of coverage up front while you're young and healthy. That way, if something happens while you age, most of us don't get healthier as we age. If something does happen, the insurance companies would be mandated to still provide you with more insurance coverage, even though you may not qualify medically at that time. So there are many advantages to purchase while you're a student. Typically, all fourth-year students can purchase, and third-year students going into their fourth year can purchase as well.
Wow, so there's a huge advantage to me, not only protecting myself because it's the right thing to do, but financially there's a big advantage to me jumping on board while I'm in dental school.
Correct.
Whew. All right, so I'm a dental student and I'm thinking square and I get this whole thing. Are there discounts available to me as somebody who's in a place where I don't have as much money as maybe someone practicing 10, 20 years?
Yeah, so oftentimes we are able to find various discount programs across the nation, some that we implement, some that we use through various carriers because we are one of the top in the country. So we can look for discounts, and sometimes we are able to build in permanent discounts, which is a big deal while you're a student, resident, and even oftentimes new practitioner, depending upon where you're employed. Now, these discounts are not the only way to get high quality coverage at a very affordable price as a student or resident. There's a few carriers out there as well that offer what are called graded premium structures. Basically what it is I call it the student or resident pricing. If the cost of a policy were to be, let's say, $100, for example, the graded premium structure would allow us to maybe offer the same exact policy with all the benefits for maybe $50.
Okay.
Now, that's just a general rule of thumb. The actual contract prices will be based upon the age and the health and how much benefit they have, so it could be higher or lower. But just to give you an idea, it would be substantially lower. And so a lot of our fourth year students are able to get a fully blown contract, maximum benefits, maximum future increase options, own occupation, specialty own occupation, with full mental nervous benefits for maybe $100 to $150 a month, which again, for a student can be very expensive, as you know. But at the same time, it's one of those things that we encourage our clients, and I want to educate the audience here as well, is we don't recommend making permanent long-term decisions based upon short-term financial constraints. So if it means not going out to eat once a month, or if it means, maybe not going to the bars once a month, do what it is to do the right thing for yourself and your family long-term.
So I really like that point. I am guilty myself. I'm just like you, and I'm sure you're the same. But if you think about a Friday night when you're 23 years old, how easy it is to drop $50, right? And if you just think about, instead of going out 4 or 5 Fridays, or if you dial it back just a little bit, you can save plenty of money to get yourself an amazing policy that really protects your assets.
And the scary part is if, imagine, and we've seen this happen, thankfully not to any of my clients, but a few of my colleagues, if something happens and you go all the way throughout your 4th year and you get just a couple of weeks before graduation and something happens, career's over, just like that. It's not worth waiting.
I had a professor in Buffalo, one of my professors, who got hurt his 4th year car accident and never practiced a day in his life. Fortunately had own OC and was able to teach at Buffalo's dental school. But imagine you're supposed to graduate in 4 months and all of a sudden your career is over before it ever begins.
So now he's probably getting full disability benefits the entire time on top of all of his professor salary, I imagine.
Exactly. So, you know, sometimes people think as an academician you don't make a lot of money, but he's doing just fine. So we don't feel too badly for him.